What's going on, people? Hope you're all good. Welcome back. So this is episode 2. So you would have seen, or you might have seen, you might not have, that I announced my plans for this year in terms of competing. So this video is kind of more about what my plans are in terms of competing this year, but also my past experiences of like what I've done, how shows have been, and just kind of talking from like the lens of a competitor. So first off, like, it's just going to come from a place that's just completely like raw, unfiltered. And like I spoke to one of my clients yesterday in the gym. He was training. He mentioned the YouTube and stuff, and I just said my goal with it is just to put as much like just value, experience, topics, and just what I can think of out there, just as raw as possible. Like I'm not gonna, if I make a mistake, if I make whatever, I'm not that bothered. Just gonna go out there. I'm not gonna overly edit it. I just want to be like a place from authenticity, just being myself, just being, as raw as I can. Like, I'm sat here in just pyjamas. Okay, don't know if you can see this. Slippers. I'm just chilling, making YouTube videos because I think it's going to be fun. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I will do some gym stuff, in-person stuff, client stuff as the weeks roll on. But this video specifically is just about what I'm going to be doing in terms of competing this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. So first of all, like, why Thailand? So my old coach Nick is massive, like, in the bodybuilding game in Asia. In Thailand, he does shows like all over. He heads the PCA Thailand show. So through him, I became aware of it, like, years ago, and I've always wanted to do it. But there's been two things, I'll be honest. First one is, like, I've never been to Thailand, so that's that. The second one was I didn't really think my physique was competitive enough to go and do a show like that without, like, just making the numbers up, essentially. And the third one's just like a financial thing. Like, it does cost a fair few quid to get over there and do it. So I feel like them three things are in a good place at the minute. So I'm fortunate enough to go and live that kind of lifestyle. So I'm looking forward to it. Thailand is, like, for those who don't know, Thailand PCA, if you want to follow them on Instagram, it's a massive federation. Like, the standard over there is crazy. It's not worse than the UK by any stretch. Bangkok, like the capital city, Bangkok, like, when we grew up, but this is from my own experience, you kind of think of like Asia as like a less developed country. Like, it's not got the stuff we've got, and it's poor and all this kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong, there's parts of Thailand that are really poor or not as developed as the UK, but in terms of Bangkok itself, like as a major city, Bangkok is huge. Like, it's massive. It's like if you've been to London, it's like London 100 mile an hour. It's crazy. They've got so much stuff there. One of the best cities I've ever visited in my life. So when I went in January, I was just thinking, like, yeah, this is somewhere I definitely want to do. So I looked at the show dates and kind of came to the decision that I'm going to do the specific show I'm going to do, which is the main show of the year. So in the past, I've done shows like last year. So I started competing like 6 years ago. The first show I done was the first time a show in Stafford. I literally went with just one friend, my mate who used to go to the gym with, Jay. Me and him just went down. I didn't really tell anyone to come and watch or nothing. I just went to see what it was like. I had no idea back then. I don't know if it's because I weren't like in the circle or not, but back then bodybuilding didn't seem anywhere near as popular as it is now. So obviously first show, I can't remember the place. I don't think I placed in the top like 6, whatever it was. So I came anywhere from 6th to last. So then I had a 2-year off season, competed again. I've done I've done a few months off, then competed again. I've done a show in Manchester. I'll try and find a picture and put it on the screen now. The lineup was fucking huge. There was like, I think there was like 20 lads on the stage at once. It was ridiculous. The only thing I know is I was in the second call out, but I was centre stage, which means I didn't come last. I was kind of in the middle. Done some more shows. I had like 2-year off season, so every single time I've competed, about 2 years in between. So like, I've done a show in, 2019, 2021, 2023, and then last year 2025. So there's always been 2 years in between. So I've always needed that time to develop. I've always said to myself, like, if I don't come in like the top 3 or don't come close to it, I'm gonna have a 2 years off. So that's always been me mindset, because I'm not good enough to obviously place. So off the back of them shows, led me to last year. So last year was I had a big off season, 2 years off season with my coach Nick. absolutely like pushed as hard as I could, got up to like 104 kilo. I had like our kind of motto during that off season was like, this is the off season that's going to change everything. This is the off season that's going to change my shape. This is the off season that's going to get me from here to there in terms of me placings on stage, and that's what happened. Done my first show in Hull. Was it Hull? In Hull, got third. I'll be honest, I could have got second if I was more conditioned, but we were holding condition for the end of the year. We were just like, each show got better essentially. But like the first show to the last one was like 7 weeks, so it's like, for anyone who's a bodybuilder, it's fucking grim to hold that kind of condition for 7 weeks. You're gonna look worse by the last show. Do you get me? So I wanted to look better on the last show, so that's why we did it. Qualified for the British. Done the British, I came 6th. I think personally, if I was in this shape I was in at the Worlds, at the British, I could get top 3. I do genuinely believe that. Like, you know, it's up to me to prove it next year, but this year, sorry, but I reckon I can do it. And then I've done the World Championships. But the week before the World Championships, I done a pro qualifier, a PCA pro qualifier. I didn't like cut water. I didn't like carb up. I didn't like get, you know, shoot ready or stage ready. I just walked there on the day, just turned up as I was, and I came 3rd in that show again, which was good, with no prep whatsoever. I feel like I would have prepped for that competition, I would have finished a lot higher than 3rd. The guy who came 1st or 2nd at that show came like, I think 6th or 7th at the Worlds. So I was definitely a lot better than I was on that date. So I've done shows last year that I feel like if I was more conditioned, like the World's condition, I would have placed a lot higher. So this year, that's my plan. Obviously the Worlds got 4th. The top 3 was a very good top 3, so I'm happy with that. And also, like, doing the Worlds, I'm happy to park the Worlds because, like, I want more experience from competing. And to be honest, the Worlds is in Valencia this year, I think, or Seville, somewhere like that. I'll have to double check. So I could go to Spain and compete, but like, just going to Thailand for me just edges it. Just everything about it, it's just exciting for me to see. So that's the plans. I did travel around Thailand in January, and honestly, like, I've been around the world. I've been to a few good places, and Thailand for me just edges it completely because, like, the people, like, just the country's beautiful, but the people are just fucking the nicest people. Like in the gym, I had people coming up to me, complimenting me, like asking me, you know, questions and stuff. They couldn't really even speak English, but they made such an effort. And yeah, I just love the country, like 100%. And I think I know someone who's competed in Thailand and just said backstage it's just one of the best experiences because the people, the culture, everyone's just so nice and humble, and it's just a really nice environment to be in. So that's why I want to do that. So the first show in Thailand is on the Saturday, which is the Bangkok Grand Prix, which is basically, you know, a Bangkok-based show, but it's a qualifier for the day after. It's the last qualifier for the Thailand Championships. So, you know, essentially the winner of that show is like number 1 in Thailand, which is a huge country with a very good standard of bodybuilders in there. And also, it's also a pro qualifier as well. So the person who's going to win that show is likely also going to turn pro. So it's a very big show along the line for that. My expectations 100% is get to the Thailand Championships, and I would love top 3 in that. I know it's a big ask, but I would love top 3. So let's try and make that happen this year. And then in terms of my expectations in the British finals, I also want to do top 3 in the British this year too. That's my goal. I want to be able to obviously do a qualifier before the British, go to the British and get top 3, fly to Thailand, and then do the 2 shows in Thailand and hopefully get top 3 there too. I'd be buzzing. I want to win the regionals this year too, so I want a couple goals in there, wherever I can find that. But like, the thing that's getting me most excited is the fact that, like, I'm gonna have to learn so much about myself to kind of do this again, because when I travel, I hold water really badly. Like, for example, when I get a flight to somewhere, like, I'll wear a watch, for example, and when, like, before I've landed, I have to take the watch off. It's like, it's so tight on my wrist. When I fly, I'll take my shoes off. When I put them back on, like, they feel like they're not mine. They feel too small. So I have massive water retention issues when I fly. So that's one thing that I'm gonna have to overcome. So to kind of overcome that, I'm flying out like 5 days before the show, which is gonna be interesting because I'm gonna be in Thailand for 5 days before I compete. I'm not allowed to like break my diet. I'm going to have to go to the gym. I'm going to have to do cardio in the morning. I'm going to have to basically be a bodybuilder still for 5 days while I'm there and then do the show back to back. Obviously there's different challenges with that too. It's like food, accommodation, like how I'm going to prep food, how I'm going to cook food. If you've never done a show before, the last week, peak week you'd call it, is like you're dialed into the gram of food, you're dialed into like cardio, you're dialed into water, you're dialed into supplements, like you don't wing it. It's not like you would say like, oh, I've got 400 calories for this meal, I'll just calorie match it. Like that just isn't a thing. You eat exactly what's in your plan. You know, it can affect your look at the end of the day. So for me to be as nailed and as sharp as possible, I'm going to have to find out a way to kind of eat to my specific plan when I'm flying, which is like a 14-hour flight. It's like 18 hours travel time in total, so that's a big challenge to start with. That's also going to help me in future if I have a client who's going to maybe America to do some kind of, you know, show or photo shoot or anything like that. You know, people who are traveling like in Europe and stuff, like that's going to give me so much more knowledge to actually do it myself and then teach people what to do and help them understand like what I did and what worked for me type of thing. So that's another reason why I'm doing this show. So like, it's not just coming from a place of, you know, doing shows and just being there for the fun of it. Like I want to learn, I want to push myself to get better. And these shows this year, I'll do minimum 4 shows this year, but I've got a new coach. I'm working with Jace now. You know, I'm going to hopefully see Nick at the Thailand shows. I hope we get to go over there and spend some time with him too. But like, this is a brand new way of coaching to me. Like Nick's peaked me for all my previous shows. I was with a coach before Nick, Marcel, who prepped me for my first 3 or 4 shows. The difference between Marcel and Nick was different. Marcel's an open bodybuilder. You know, he's from the old school kind of method. He's a friend of mine, in the same gym, that type of thing. You know, a lot of people who mutual friends with me will know him too. Nick's approach is different. It's more like he's mastered kind of men's physique, so he's down that avenue. And with Jace does a lot of men's physique and classic guys, but he's also working with a lot of IFBB pro athletes and stuff. He's getting athletes to pro codes. He's getting athletes to like pro status, and so did Nick. So, you know, 2 very good coaches, but I'm just looking forward to seeing the differences between what they both do, because with my clients, for example, I might have 5 lads doing a group shoot and all 5 of them have a different kind of peak protocol. It won't be massively different, but it can be a lot different, and it depends on like the jobs, like the body, how it responds to fats and carbs and water and whatever else. So I'll be really interested to see how Jace is going to prep me compared to how Nick prepped me. And that just got me excited. And the fact that last year I was so close to where I want to be, you know, I only need a year off, like a year in between. I say a year off, it's not off. It's a year fully on, if anything. But it's a year in between shows. And that's what I'm looking forward to more than anything else. Just having like a new kind of coach, a new strategy, a new way of getting peeled for the show. You know, a new cardio routine, a new diet, a new like just loads of new shit. That's just going to make me a better coach, because I'm going to see from 3 different other coaches' point of views and mine. I've got so much experience at my fingertips now with different clients. So that's why I look at it. And like, I do want to win some trophies this year too. So hopefully I can make that happen. And I'm going to bring everyone along for the journey. So yeah, if anyone has any questions and stuff, you know, I'm always here to answer questions and stuff. Always feel free to drop them over. I'll be dropping 2 videos this week coming now, which will be educational and some journey stuff. So I'm really looking forward to like just having a mix of different videos on my page and letting people come along for the journey and seeing what goes on in like my life basically. So thank you for watching once again. Hopefully speak to you all soon.